How you feel about the situation between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson?
That means that he don't want to fight. You know, from 20%. Come on, man. Stop that. Stop it. You know what type of fighter he is. That's what you do when you don't want to fight.
Now the rumors was coming out today. They saying they trying to get Shakur and Devin maybe. It's so much rumors. Like nobody don't really know what's going on. You don't feel like that's a duck if he go take Devin?
Anybody outside of Devin and Tank, then everybody know he ducking.
He king ding-a-ling. Get the boy. Woo! You about to make me go crazy. You not that good, bro. You not. I'm sorry.
We came in. Sure. Brian Norman came in at 46. We came in at 46. If Shakur come in at 44 or 45, it's all the same to me, in my opinion. So I won't be blindsided about not being prepared for this opportunity. So from a coaching standpoint, from a business standpoint, we're ready.
The boxing world is buzzing after several fighters and analysts criticized Shakur Stevenson following the release of messages that allegedly indicate he avoided a potential fight with Devin Haney. As the debate gains momentum, critics have accused Stevenson of steering clear of one of boxing's biggest challenges. Meanwhile, fans continue to argue over what the leaked exchanges actually reveal about the long-discussed rivalry.
Fight. And they did the sanctioned bodies and all that did to make them fight.
If they do fight, who you think gonna win?
I actually don't know. I mean, my mind says Shakur probably win. But then I see the great work that he did with Loma, or that he fight with Loma, and overcome a lot of different obstacles in that fight. It could be hard for Shakur. Sugar Shakur, right? Sugar Shakur Stevenson. As they call it. It'd be hard for him for the long range, the height, how big he is, stuff like that. And then what makes me think even more is when Shakur stayed spar with Crawford, and he had lots of problems with Crawford. Even though Crawford wasn't punching him hard or whatever, but you know what he had problems with? He had problems with the long arms and the height of Crawford. So he couldn't counterpunch like he wanted to. Or Crawford probably wouldn't hit him hard, but it's different, you know, he's longer and stuff, it's harder. So that could be a problem for Shakur that we...
Benji recently shared an update that intensified discussion surrounding the long-talked-about Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup, suggesting the fight may once again be facing delays. He posted that, according to reports, Zuffa Boxing wants Devin Haney to fight Shakur Stevenson, but claimed that Stevenson is the one preventing the fight from moving forward. The post triggered strong reactions from fans, with some arguing that Stevenson would continue avoiding major challenges, while others questioned whether top fighters will be able to avoid elite competition moving forward. Following his latest win, Devin Haney made it clear that he wants the biggest fight available, publicly naming Shakur Stevenson and describing the matchup as one of the biggest fights in boxing. Haney also used social media to directly challenge his longtime rival. While many fans welcomed the possibility of the fight, critics pointed out that Stevenson has not fully committed to the matchup despite years of discussion between both sides. This has fueled further accusations that Stevenson is avoiding Haney, especially as Haney continues pushing for the fight publicly. Many fans and analysts argue that Haney has consistently shown a willingness to face elite opponents, while questions continue to surround why a deal with Stevenson has not yet been finalized.
What I've been saying, 3-division world champion, former undisputed lightweight, former WBC junior welterweight, and reigning WBO welterweight world champion, first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires, superstar boxer, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, Devin the Dream Haney, 33 wins, no loss and no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He calls out another first ballot Hall of Famer of his era. Ironically enough, Devin Haney is 27, and the person he calls out is 28 years old, who's another first ballot Hall of Famer, Olympic silver medalist, 4-division world champion, former unified super featherweight, who simultaneously up until yesterday held the WBC 135-pound title and the WBO 140-pound junior welterweight title. At the same time, superstar boxer, 4-division champion, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Shakur Stevenson, who is 25 wins, no losses, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout. So Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, as I said, and Devin Haney confirmed it, as you see there, this is the next super fight in the sport of boxing.
The possibility of a Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson fight appears stronger than ever after reports indicated that both fighters have aligned with Zuffa Boxing. Haney recently signed a major agreement with the promotion, and Stevenson has reportedly taken a similar route, placing two of boxing's biggest names under the same banner. For years, promotional and business issues were viewed as major obstacles to making the fight. However, those barriers may now be greatly reduced. With both fighters linked to the same organization, negotiations could become far easier, allowing attention to shift toward reaching terms and securing a date. Industry observers believe Zuffa Boxing has every reason to make the matchup happen because it would rank among the sport's most anticipated events.
Shakur Stevenson signs with Zuffa Boxing, apparently, according to Eddie Hearn. Let's watch.
Shakur Stevenson, does that kind of open the door for you to work with Shakur? Obviously,
no, Shakur signed with Zuffa, so that'll be him moving forward. But I just don't know who they're going to put him in with, because you see, Zuffa are paying like as a business, they're paying these guys 5 times more than anybody else would pay them. To fight who? Like, who are you going to put Shakur? What, you can put Shakur in with O'Shaquie Foster and give him $15 million? I mean, good luck to Shakur. I love him. I'd said to him, great, mate. But yeah, it's a weird model, and it's a model that's not going to last very.
Eddie Hearn recently claimed that Zuffa Boxing has been presenting massive financial offers to attract leading fighters, including Shakur Stevenson. According to Hearn, the company is prepared to spend what many would consider huge amounts of money to bring established stars to its roster and rapidly build credibility within boxing. While the approach has attracted considerable attention, Hearn questioned whether that level of spending can be sustained over time. He suggested that these lucrative agreements may be designed more to create an immediate impact and persuade elite fighters to sign rather than to support a long-term business model. Hearn noted that several boxers have been drawn to the financial opportunities being offered, but he remains interested to see whether Zuffa Boxing can continue providing similar deals as its roster expands. Regardless, the aggressive strategy has already changed the landscape of the sport and increased the likelihood of major fights being made.
Eddie damn well knows exactly what Zuffa's trying to do. It will be very interesting to see how long they keep this kind of model up, but if this is correct, and I don't have any reason to doubt Eddie, but if this is correct and Zuffa have signed Shakur Stevenson for his next fight, maybe it's a one-fight deal, maybe it isn't, I have no idea. They did that with Conor Benn, supposedly it was a one-fight deal, who knows? The game plan is simple here. Outspend everyone, grab up all the talent, and then undercut the rest of boxing. If you have all the talent, even if you have to spend more at the beginning, which they are going to, and they are clearly, and then you take that talent from everybody else whose contracts are coming up, then the rest of the sport does have to somewhat capitulate that you have the best roster and or the best league, which the UFC's Zuffa Boxing alternative is kind of working toward, right? The UFC model. Fighters are going to want to be there. The best in the world are going to want to be there. It's a long-term play, and I think Eddie knows this, that it's not meant to be sustainable to sign, one fight, $15 million deals for the next 10 years. They're going to do this until they grab up all or the majority of the talent. And it may work. And it probably...
Meanwhile, Bill Haney made it clear that he believes Shakur Stevenson would face the most difficult test of his career against Devin Haney. Bill argued that Stevenson has never competed against a fighter who brings elite speed, world-class defense, championship credentials, and top-level experience all in one package. He insisted there would be no easy moments as the fight takes place, predicting that every part of Stevenson's game would be challenged on boxing's biggest stage. Bill has repeatedly described the matchup as one of the sport's biggest fights, while maintaining that Devin has the skills and confidence to overcome any challenge. He warned that even a minor weakness could be exposed on fight night with millions of fans watching worldwide. According to Bill, the pressure, attention, and level of competition would create a true proving ground where both fighters must show exactly where they belong among boxing's elite.
I want your thoughts on Shakur saying he not fighting Dev unless he got a rehydration clause.
Shakur, man, honestly, you know what I mean? Because, I can pop it on channels and shit like that and do that, you know what I mean? And we can have fun with it. But, over here on the Boxing Voice, right, I want to ask, in or around the division, every bad month around Devin has gotten an offer to fight, or they've been in the ring, or, I mean, who else has that happened with? All the fights that the people want to see Devin fight, the person that got either a contract or Devin and got in the ring with him. Can we say that about anybody else?
Bill Haney has strongly rejected the growing narrative that Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney are avoiding tough fights, arguing that both fighters are simply managing the business side of boxing rather than ducking competition. He pointed out that Stevenson has not fully exercised certain WBO options when moving between weight classes, just as Devin Haney has not pushed the WBO to enforce mandatory bouts against fighters such as Jaron Ennis or Xander Zayas. In Bill's view, these situations are often portrayed as fear or avoidance when they're actually strategic decisions influenced by timing, promotional factors, and long-term career planning. He suggested that both camps are operating under the same system and making similar business choices, even if critics choose to interpret them differently.
Or the ring, it didn't matter. He wanted Devin Haney.
Okay, Bernie. Now, Bernie, what organization is Shakur the champion for right now?
He the WBO, because that's what Tio had.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what belt does Devin Haney have?
The WBO.
So if he wanted to mandate something, he could mandate something right now, Bernie.
If he want to do it, yeah.
But okay, Bernie, don't blow a blood vessel.
Yeah,
But he can
yeah.
still, listen, if he just wanted one belt, he can come get the one belt right now.
That's something to him.
Despite being widely regarded as one of the most talented defensive fighters in boxing, Shakur Stevenson still has aspects of his game that can be improved. According to Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr., the boxing legend praised Stevenson's speed, reflexes, and ring IQ, but highlighted one particular concern involving his footwork. Jones believes Stevenson often moves back too far after causing opponents to miss, taking himself completely out of range instead of staying close enough to deliver effective counters. According to Jones, this habit was especially noticeable against dangerous punchers, where Stevenson's defensive movement limited immediate offensive opportunities. Rather than remaining in position to take advantage of mistakes, he sometimes surrenders valuable ground and allows the action to reset.
Shakur Stevenson is a very good fighter, but he got to learn, and I will hope he will pay attention to this because this is going to mean a lot for him.
Mm-hmm.
His feet are good, but sometimes they take him too far out of range to be able to come back and counter.
Mm-hmm.
The last guy he fought, the guy was a good puncher, so when he was jumping back, he was jumping too far back out of range to where he couldn't come back and get something right away. You know what I'm saying? And for the fans, it starts to look bored.
That's how I say. I feel like he was running.
He really ain't running. He just don't understand that this is somebody got to teach him. And I would teach him if they ever brought him to me to teach him. But he got to understand what I'm trying to tell him. I'm not trying to criticize him.
Right.
When you say something bad, they take it as criticism.
Right.
No, son, you got to understand how to not jump. Okay, people know what the thing that dig the hole, the excavator, right?
Yeah.
If you move that thing back too far, you can't reach the job.
Right.
It's got to work, but it got to stay on the job while it work. You can't take it out of, if you work it with this, because this part keeps it on the job, the feet. This do the work. If you take the thing and move it back, it's off the job, it can't work no more. Right. So if you move back every time off the job, it ain't gonna ever get no work done. So now it's gonna become boring.
Stevenson has also stated that if he moves up to the welterweight division and competes at 147 pounds, a rehydration clause will be an important part of any major fight agreement. The undefeated champion believes that large weight increases between the official weigh-in and fight night to provide a significant competitive advantage, especially when naturally bigger fighters are involved. In modern boxing, some fighters are known to gain substantial weight overnight, entering the ring noticeably larger and stronger than the division limit would suggest. Stevenson has argued that these situations can impact both power and durability, making weight management an important factor in high-level competition. By requesting a rehydration clause, he hopes to keep the playing field as even as possible and prevent opponents from gaining an excessive size advantage after making weight.
Then it moved to another. It started on hold, then it moved to another. When we gonna get a pond dug? We're not, because it's taking off the job too much. You gotta leave it on the job for it to get a pond dug. And that's his only thing. He a great fighter. He got great eyesight. He has great reaction time. He gonna be a great fighter. He just gotta figure out how to use them people different.
Is he the best defensive fighter out of all four of them?
Right now, defensive, yes, because his defense is with his feet. That's what people don't understand. Defense isn't with your hands, it's with your feet. And he has the best foot defense of the game. Mm-hmm. So if he uses it for defense, when it's strictly defense, yes. But when you want to make it offensive, you can't do the same. You got to cut it in half. And that's the only thing he had a problem with. Once he learns that or figures that out, he gonna be a killer.
Would the skill he has now make him the best out of them four?
Right now, no. Because some people gonna say, boy, and the reason the rest of them don't want to fight him is because they know he know that back foot game so well that he's not gonna engage until he wants to engage. And that's a good thing too. But for the fans and to be
not right now,
the ratings, you gotta be able to engage when they need you to engage. You can't.
Joe Rogan has expressed strong confidence in Shakur Stevenson's ability to compete with elite fighters, even if he moves up to the welterweight division at 147 pounds without a rehydration clause. The claim reflects Rogan's belief that Stevenson's elite fundamentals would allow him to succeed against physically larger opponents. He emphasized that Shakur's speed, defensive skill, and boxing IQ operate at an exceptionally high level, enabling him to overcome size disadvantages through timing, technique, and ring intelligence rather than relying solely on physical strength.
Me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going there? So any of y'all want to fight me at 147?
Yeah, rehydration.
10 pounds.
10-pound rehydration, like the IBF rule, basically.
You got to understand, that means on fight night, when we get in the ring, they're going to be 157, maybe 158.
Max.
No bigger than 160 that night.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
So if we could get it like, all right, like the IBF rule, 10-pound rehydration.
Yes, but think about it. If there's no rehydration clause, these guys going to get up to 170 pounds.
Yeah, 175.
I'm in the 140s on fight night.
Yeah.
So if I'm 140, they 170. Bro, what am I in here wrestling around with these?
Right.
Come on, bro.
How did you feel at 140 though? Like compared to 35, did you feel any difference? Or was it like in your body, like does it feel any different at all or was it the same?
Both of them I'm gonna be straight because the weight is easy to make.
Terence Crawford has been one of Shakur Stevenson's biggest supporters, repeatedly praising his elite technical ability and suggesting that many fighters think twice before stepping into the ring with him. Crawford has often highlighted Stevenson's rare combination of speed, defense, and ring IQ, describing him as a fighter who can adapt to any opponent and make adjustments mid-fight. His comments reflect a wider belief in boxing circles that Stevenson's style creates high risk with limited reward, making him a difficult matchup for top contenders. While critics argue this leads to fewer big fights, supporters like Crawford see it as proof of Stevenson's elite level.
The reason why certain fighters didn't want to take the chance to step in the ring with this fighter. He's great. A lot of people started saying, oh, he's a runner, he's this, he's that. Just to detour people from being excited to see him fight because he's not knocking people out and all that crazy stuff. But they would see why people really don't want to get in the ring with him come tomorrow.
I know you've shared the ring with him, sparring plenty of times. What makes Shakur Stevenson great? What makes him different? What makes him, I don't want to say an ilk of yourself, but in the same kind of era, the Bud Crawford era, he's got a Shakur Stevenson era coming.
Everything. The offense, the defense, the poise, the rhythm, the distance, the timing, the punch placement, the react time. Like, I can go on and on. You know, the toughness, the grit, the grind. Like, he's amazing, you know, and tomorrow he will show it.
How do you think it ends tomorrow night? Do you believe that Shakur Stevenson can stop Teofimo Lopez? Because people aren't really talking about that.
Listen, if T.O. get out of line, you know, he can get hurt. But I see Shakur outboxing to a decision, a unanimous decision.
What was his dad saying to you earlier? You had a little bit of a back and forth with his dad. Was that all jokes or what did he say?
Nah, his dad is goofy, you know, and it's called, you know, chill out.
Terence, what's retirement been like for you? Have you enjoyed yourself so far in retirement?
Oh yeah, sure. Definitely enjoying myself.
However, Bill Haney made it clear that he would not accept any such restrictions in Devin Haney's major fights. His stance is expected to become a key talking point in negotiations, especially as Shakur Stevenson pushes for a rehydration clause in a potential agreement. Bill believes that limiting how much a fighter can rehydrate after the weigh-in is unnecessary and could place Devin at a disadvantage, particularly against naturally larger opponents. He argues that elite fighters should compete under standard rules without extra contractual conditions that could influence performance on fight night. This difference in approach creates a possible obstacle in talks between the two camps. Stevenson has previously raised concerns about size advantages after the weigh-in.
You guys are seeking, or are you leaving it alone since he's saying that it would require Devin to get a rehydration clause? Is that something you're willing to get on the phone and discuss how many pounds exactly?
Well, when you're speaking about Debo, you might hear a whole lot of that's inconsistent with things that you say about normal fighters. When you talk about a generational talent like Dev, you would expect those that are elite to look to have, to be on a level playing field. What you weigh is what you weigh, and how you get down the next day is, it's what it's all about, and that's